A man once walked through the mountains of rural Mexico with nothing but a backpack and a few dollars in his pocket. Years later, intelligence agencies believed the empire connected to him was generating billions every single year. His name was Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes. Most people know him as El Mencho. The strange part is not just the power he built. It is how someone who started with almost nothing ended up controlling one of the most feared organizations in the world while living inside a lifestyle that looked closer to a billionaire fantasy than a criminal operation. To understand how that happened, you have to go back to the beginning. El Mencho was born in a small town in the Mexican state of Michoacán. It was a rural place where opportunities were limited and most families survived through farming or small local work. Life was simple but also difficult. As a teenager, he left home searching for something bigger. Like many young men from small towns, he crossed the border into the United States. At first, there was no luxury, no power, no influence, just survival. He worked ordinary jobs picking crops in California and doing labor work wherever he could find it. People who knew him then described a quiet young man who kept his head down and avoided attention. But the environment around him slowly began to change. During the 1980s and early 1990s, drug trafficking networks between Mexico and the United States were expanding rapidly. Small groups were turning into powerful organizations controlling routes worth billions of dollars. El Mencho eventually became connected to that world. Authorities in the United States later arrested him for involvement in drug-related activity. After serving time, he was deported back to Mexico. That moment changed everything. Returning to Mexico did not mean starting over quietly. Instead, it placed him inside a region where criminal organizations were battling for territory and influence. And this is where the transformation began. At first, he worked within existing groups, learning how operations functioned. These organizations were not chaotic gangs. They were structured networks moving large amounts of money through complex systems. Transportation routes, distribution chains, security teams, communication systems. All of it designed to move products and money without interruption. El Mencho learned quickly. Over time, he became connected to what would later become the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, known internationally as CJNG. This organization grew at a speed that surprised intelligence agencies. Within a few years, it expanded across multiple Mexican states and into international trafficking routes. And with that growth came enormous money. Experts believe the organization eventually generated billions of dollars through global operations. Exact numbers are impossible to verify, but the scale was undeniable. Money at that level begins to change lifestyles. While El Mencho rarely appeared in public, the world around him reflected extreme wealth. Safe houses hidden in quiet neighborhoods. Ranches in remote regions surrounded by security. Luxury vehicles used by trusted members of the organization. Reports from investigations described properties filled with expensive furniture, imported electronics, and collections of luxury watches. But unlike celebrity billionaires, the lifestyle operated behind layers of secrecy. That is one of the most unusual aspects of his story. You could drive past one of these properties and never realize what existed behind the walls. No cameras. No red carpets. No social media posts. Just controlled environments designed to stay invisible. Yet intelligence agencies across the United States and Mexico were watching closely. The organization connected to El Mencho was expanding quickly and using extreme violence to protect its territory. Governments began increasing pressure. Special units tracked communication networks. Financial investigators followed money movements. Military operations targeted cartel strongholds. But finding the leader himself proved extremely difficult. He moved constantly. One week in a remote ranch deep in the countryside. Another week inside a guarded compound in a different region. Sometimes reports suggested he traveled in convoys of armored vehicles surrounded by loyal security teams. At other times he disappeared completely from sight. This constant movement created a strange paradox. He was one of the most wanted men in the world, yet almost no confirmed photographs of him existed during the height of his power. And that mystery added to his reputation. Meanwhile, the money flowing through the organization continued to grow. When criminal networks generate billions, they often begin investing in legitimate businesses. Investigators believe operations connected to the cartel moved money through restaurants, real estate projects, agricultural companies, and transportation businesses. To outsiders, these businesses looked normal. Inside, they could function as financial pipelines. Money flowing quietly from illegal operations into legal markets. This is how enormous fortunes can appear almost invisible. And it also explains how the lifestyle surrounding El Mencho reached a level that felt almost unreal. Luxury ranches large enough to operate as private compounds. Security teams trained like military units. Vehicles that looked like something from a high-level security convoy. But the real power was not in the luxury itself. It was in control. Control of territory. Control of billions moving through networks that stretched across continents. Control of transportation routes. At the peak of his influence, authorities in both Mexico and the United States placed massive rewards on information leading to his capture. Yet year after year, he remained out of reach. Rumors spread constantly. Some claimed he was hiding deep in the mountains. Others believed he had moved between multiple safe locations protected by layers of loyal guards. Occasionally, reports surfaced about health problems or secret movements. But confirmed information remained rare. That secrecy kept the legend alive. To many observers, the story began to feel almost surreal. How could someone build an empire of that scale while staying almost completely invisible? Part of the answer lies in how these organizations operate. Unlike traditional companies, they do not rely on public offices or visible headquarters. Operations are decentralized. Small groups handle different parts of the system. Transportation teams move products. Financial operators move money. Security teams protect leadership. Information flows only where necessary. This structure makes the entire network harder to dismantle. But it also creates a strange lifestyle for the people at the top. Extreme wealth combined with extreme isolation. Imagine controlling billions yet rarely being able to walk freely in public. Imagine owning luxury properties but always surrounded by security and secrecy. That was the reality behind the image. While outsiders imagined a kingpin lifestyle filled with endless celebration, the daily environment was closer to constant caution. Movement planned carefully. Communication limited. Trust reserved for a very small circle. And the pressure from governments never stopped. Military operations intensified across regions controlled by the organization. Financial sanctions targeted businesses suspected of laundering money. International cooperation increased as authorities attempted to disrupt the network. Still, the man at the center remained difficult to reach. For years, he existed as one of the most powerful figures operating outside the law. A person whose influence stretched from remote villages to international trafficking routes worth billions. But the strange thing about power built in secrecy is that it rarely lasts forever. Pressure eventually closes in. Organizations fracture. Loyalty changes. And the environment that once protected a leader can begin to collapse. The story of El Mencho became more than just a tale of crime. It became a case study in how massive underground empires rise. A young man leaving a rural town searching for opportunity. A series of decisions that slowly connect him to powerful networks. An organization growing so large it generates wealth comparable to corporate giants. and a lifestyle built on secrecy where luxury exists behind walls few people ever see. From the outside it looked like unimaginable power. From the inside it was a life constantly surrounded by risk. Private compounds instead of public mansions. Security convoys instead of open travel. Silence instead of celebration. In the end, the most revealing part of this story is not the billions connected to the organization. It is the contrast between the image of limitless wealth and the reality of living hidden from the world. Because the lifestyle that looked like a trillionaire fantasy from a distance was actually built inside a cage of secrecy where freedom became the one luxury that could never truly be purchased.